at Auzom Season 2, North America Week 4. My name's Toffees, and I'm bringing the action here along with Little Fuzzy Seal and our Eye in the Skyline. It's going to be a great game. We've had a lot of fun and saw the single best Molotov of my lifetime. Let's talk about the last match and get ready for this one, Seal.
Oh man, I hope that entire play makes it to clips. There was a really fun fight with God Squad in the middle of crates near the middle of that game. By the way, it was another one of those military West Side endings. A lot of guys had to fight for the
motorcycle! Motorcycle!
Oh, I just thought they were the same squad.
No.
Oh, Big K, he's so good.
They were spinning around each other, and I'm Big K is trying to juke the bike. To my back's up, looks at him, says, "Yep, I got you." And runs him over. So I'm Big K is now a Big K box. And we'll have to go back and watch the map. So welcome, Big K. It's nice to have you back in the Twitch chat.
Oh, it's so toxic. Oh, yeah. But anyway, there's a couple of squads. I think it was Render, STK, and Nop from Totality that were able to get to the final circle. And Render had got to the end game 2 times in a row. They weren't quite able to clinch out the win there. But essentially, the play was that SDK took the exact right time to leave their compound and start really throwing their weight around outside, and they chose a good time to do that, and well, won the game, first place.
Bin Long making a long jump all the way into Safe Town. I believe Milta should be all good for them. Dat Coco and Vape to the south can do a little bit of spread farming on the farm. Loot farming on the farm just seems like apropos. Meanwhile, we got 6 all to themselves over in Pachinki. Pretty comfortable spreads outside of the early run over. I don't see a lot happening potentially. Now, Envy Venerated is right on top of EU, but Geese looks like he's just backed off, going to go past the warehouse where Yimmer is, and Venerated going to be underground. So they just drove right over him. He's got the his complex all to himself. Yeah,
United's playing PUBG. Everyone's over here playing Minecraft. He dug underground, was able to get himself under the shelter over here. But
never played Minecraft.
Well, I played it like once. It was I'm not a fan. I like my guns in these games. But something that you might have noticed after watching a couple of these games is that a lot of teams like drop in the exact same spot. Nova, Severny, Duel, Pachinki, Render. Going for the good old phase strat traffic and melt the power every time. A lot of teams like dropping in the exact same spot, and even if the flight plan doesn't allow it, they will pop their parachutes early and then just go wherever they feel like they want to go. And it kind of makes sense a little bit as well, because once everyone becomes aware of that meta, they're just like, oh, don't go blank. Someone always goes there. So just sort of by most teams wanting to avoid these destructive early fights, which, trust me, everyone wants to avoid these destructive early game fights, it's kind of just safe just because you just do the same thing every game and everyone knows it.
Well, and that's what happened. So what we've seen over the last couple of months is there was a few in the first round of PUBG Pro. There was a couple of split tournaments, but mostly a lot of the tournaments had EU and North America sort of together in their weekly throwdowns. That said, they got used to each other in terms of drops. Lately, we've seen the split here in North America. Earlier in the day, you get to watch EU, and that means that each of those different groups are sort of establishing their own drops. And teams love to have drops. They love to have established territory. It's a very important part of the game. And that's why I'm really excited about things like Katowice coming up in a couple of weeks here, where they're inviting teams from more than just North America and Europe, but all over the world. And so we're going to see all kinds of new interactions, because a lot of these teams have no idea where their teams are dropping. Speaking of no idea, Bin Long's going to come out, gets a little bit of defense. Bando's going to pick him up. But a lot of fire back and forth here, but no one taken out just yet. We're still only looking at 1 death if my number counting is correct. And that was the early run over, unfortunately, with that motorcycle.
Just to tack on to your point previously with the whole meta and strategy, is that the really interesting thing about that is that leagues and tournaments, like one-day tournaments, will play differently because of that. But just that's it for that. More people showing up here in Novo, as it is one of the more centralized cities. Looks like Mortify rolling up here, but there's already a squad here, and the sooner that Mortify figures that out, the better. But he actually crashes his bike.
Oh no,
he's
Mortify!
in the open.
Oh god. Mortify is mortified as he crashes his bike and opens up a free kill for Coco. Coco was deciding, should I shoot? And then he crashed, tried to pull a Mission Impossible jump. And sometimes it doesn't work out. Tom Cruise can land him, but apparently All right, Wooly going to come around. Looks like he wants to maybe possibly come down towards Nova, which is very comfortably held by Luminosity at the moment. Here comes a crate dropping in. Let's take it from above, see what's inside. Another M24 with two 8X scopes. So sometimes the M24 comes with no scopes, and sometimes it comes with a buy one, get one free so that you and your friend can both pwn noobs from a distance.
Sometimes it comes with that 64x scope. That's how it works. You just gotta multiply the numbers together. And one of the squad that shows up late here will probably be grabbing this. It might be Render if they decide to sort of stray out to their comfort area, but we'll see what happens there. Meanwhile, United looking like that they're going around Novo. I think that at this point, Luminosity, they're keeping a couple of guys on the edges. That way, if someone shows up like United, they'll shoot a couple shots here. United gets the idea that we can't come here for loot. And judging by those little shiny alien heads of United right now, they need more loot. Level 1 helmets are not what you want to be going in with into the late game.
Yeah, you don't want to be working this angle like a Mr. Clean. You want to be looking like a boss or a welder. Mr. Clean's not made to fight in this area. Though I do want to bring up, let's talk about circles, man. 3 of our 4 circles have been military, which makes me wonder if maybe we're going to see this favor sort of the Milton North, and we'll get a little bit lucky there to get off of this island. That said, though, this island has been a magnet. I've never seen this many military circles one after another before.
Yeah, it's certainly that night. Definitely should be the title of this in the VODs. But if Render has shown me anything, is that they know how to play a military game. So we'll definitely be looking for them here into the late game. That being said, this circle is on the east side. So not quite the same terrain. Just the outdoor terrain is a lot better. It's kind of Miramar-esque in that there's a lot of ridges, a lot more cover outside of just compounds and cities. So teams that show up late, as long as they can get away from the water and cross that bridge safely, they'll be in a pretty good spot to actually, fight and, other squads.
That's the nature of Military Island, though. The preface is, if you can cross it safely, you're in a good position. Because at the end of the day, that's what happens. We lose so many teams during the transition periods, or lose so many teams' potential for positioning during that phase, that just becomes really difficult to thrive. Now we got EU making a transition, trying to get their team together over at the barn. That's it. They're going to pass CeeLo Green and his crew, and they should open fire here, looking for a couple of shots, hoping to get him. But Tony V going to roll on by in his buggy without any issues, though he is alerting the entire map to their location, because that's what buggy do.
Looking like they will be getting over here safely. United not interested in loot as much as they are this one little compound that's away from the rest of Novo. It's pretty good to hold. A lot of dead terrain around it. And honestly, right now, very centralized. But more players making their way on the beach. God Squad taking one down already.
Pat caps Drassel. Drassel goes down, and now Pat and his partner are going to be pushing up. Sharko W taking the right flank. Coco and his boys, who are on the opposite side of the loot cycle, sort of covering everyone coming in on land, are going to have a big transition to try and get here and back up Zentrix, who has to sort of hold his ground because he's so separated. Now there's some shots. Vapor going to take some shots over at Pat. They're shooting right at the dead body of Drassel. That said, though, it's a long shot and not a lot of ways through the cover that they've got in those crates. That was the ultimate way. So basically, Luminosity had all of Nova locked in sort of a 4 corners configuration, but they had to win the fights when people tried to breach, and unfortunately, it just caught them off guard.
They wouldn't have been able to do it if there's ever a 4-man push. Then any one of these players, you can't hold 4 people. I don't care how good of a shot you are. And honestly, Luminosity, they just want their loot. They just want to loot up and then consolidate. But I think that one of those players has held their ground for a little bit too long, and now Luminosity have to deal with both players coming from the northwest as well as coming in from those crates. That being said, Pistola time, he's coming over here to link up with his squad, but there are players coming in from behind him. I think that's a Render coming in at pretty much the exact same angle here.
Yeah, Render harassing him from a distance, taking some shots. That said, they may find themselves in trouble if they continue to play this very aggressively and chase him in. Pistola will lead them right into the jaws of death because his team is on that waterline waiting for these guys to roll up. So Bin Long decides to keep it straight. Anthony will follow, and they'll allow a Pistola on his cute little wave runner to get to the rest of his team.
Spidey senses were definitely tingling right there. They got the feeling that something was off. Probably the fact that he's only on this wave runner and that there can't, there's one of you. Where are your friends at? So definitely some smart play from Render going elsewhere. But there's a couple of other squads already lining the coast. Their journey is not done yet. Meanwhile, over here, Adam Dids pulling up with their vehicles. I think that's envious to their south, though. Venerated, he's already in the water, I believe. Which, if they spot him out, might not be good for him.
All right, so Venerate back. Envious has had a tough game, have a tough couple of games this round, man. So they're in the water, gonna have a long, dark swim ahead of them. And now we're going to have a lot of transition. Nova trying to make their way in across the same bridge. This is the third time Nova's had to drive across this bridge. MLGB on their way as well as they take shots at each other along the action. And another, just like I said, big looping crosses through the same area. At this point, these players are becoming experts at driving through this area because they've done it so many times in a row. That said, there is no WC landhold on this side of the bridge and no MLGB spot for them as well. So at least maybe we'll see those two teams make it into the final circle without losing someone.
I kind of hope that MLGB and Wildcard are on the eastern bridge instead of the western bridge. They're just fighting in the exact same spot. And we do see Wildcard right up there to the north. They will be winning across this bridge, taking some shots at Nova.
Oh!
Shooting Richie off. Really good shots.
So they will continue. Pride with the shots, gets the knock. MLGB. Sorry, you can't see WC without MLGB. MLGB driving by, uses Nova as body cover basically to take fire and allow him to make that transition. They are going to open fire on Alo. He takes a little bit of damage, but that's mostly blue. And he will burn on by using the yellow houses to keep himself safe from WC and their favorite burn down.
New zone showing more of the same, but showing us that the northern side of the zone, that is the southern continent, the northern continent, will not be in. It looks like no one grabbed that crate either, so no one really willing to stop for that one. Oh, what? Oh, it's glitched.
Yeah, it's an air crate. Still the two 8Xs, so you and your friend will not be shooting at a distance. Oh, it's on the roof. So it's not a glitch. It's just a floater. That's a grenade savable. It's just nobody's going to take the time and the effort to go back there with the debacle of the circle.
Yeah, well, it looks like a couple groups are in a really good spot. United, the big one I'm looking at, they're essentially about as center as you get. Render a little bit to the south, holding looking like they want to kill any boat boys coming. We don't see this area played that much, but it will allow them to control a live train already, taking some shots at God's nice Point. Moving around the crates.
Ben Long hitting some really nice shots tonight as he's just opening up on that Harry Potter tower. And in a pretty good spot. This is a fun spot to hold. It's rare that you get to have the circle in this spot. But it stops anyone from coming to land, lets you shoot out in Nova with good cover. It's a really great spot that they find themselves in. Render Esports having a pretty good night.
United going for a 2-2 split pretty aggressively, having two guys sitting here in Nova to make sure that no one from crates can even get to these houses. That being said, there are 4 players here. They have to be very careful that they don't get 4-man pushed. But Pistola time, yeah, he's not even worried about United right now. He's just focusing on Render right now.
Yeah, so back and forth, Pistola looking to try and pick somebody off on the water line. Knows Moody and his crew are coming up from that side. Somehow, he should glance them here. We have Skyline peeking out the door, but I don't think that Pat was. So sharp shot, Pistola, and the boys still trying to watch 3 separate assault points. They're literally being pushed from 3 different sides.
They know. If not being pushed, they're definitely being watched, which essentially means that the God Squad, they can't move. They got to wait for someone to push them, or other than that, this is just their home now. They can't take this many fights. That being said, C9 over there on the water, not in a great spot. Ooh, but hitting a nice headshot on Frolicker right there. Maybe they'll run away with that one. Yeah, they're actually retreating north, down the water line, trying to get to a different spot so that the zone doesn't mess them up later on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could hear Frolicker through my headphones just when he got hit by that. Because, I mean, that was a beautiful shot that had to have just been surprising because he had such a good peak position. Now, Jesse Lull is coming down on Wildcard. It looks like they're just down the hill from him. Did they wipe them out? Yes, they did. So Envious isn't in the water. They wipe out 2 members of Wildcard. Kickstart in the blue, taking some range shots, jumps in the car to try to make it out of here. But they're in a tough spot because Envious is in the high ground on the circle.
They also got a crate on the road below, or behind them rather. As soon as they get finished shooting up here, if they saw that crate drop, then they have an extra crate weapon for them to grab. Wildcard, they're able to get away, but Nova, to their south. If they go for this crate, they might spot Nova, but it is an an 8X, and a level 3. But this might be the best crate we have seen tonight. It has all the right items in it.
That's what we call the win package. When they provide you with the ghillie suit, the 8X, the and the tier 3 helmet. The super sniper pack lets you have everything you want, including the extra life. So I don't know how much BP they invested for the super sniper pack, but that's like a 0.2% drop. So I don't know if they want to use it or if they just put it on the Steam market, but very impressive crate.
All right, looks like Totality making landfall here on the southeast side. They do not have any players here on the coastline, but actually the players that are already holding this have Smurf here. So this is really smart. Smurf definitely heard that boat come in and is telling his friends on the Pecadore squad that, hey, someone's here. I'm going to go see what's up and see if I can get some kills here. for totality, it wasn't all 4 of them that made landfall here. So if Smurf does peek, there's a significant chance they can just take 2 of these guys out right away.
Smurf on the look, brought his red shoes to party, looking for someone to stomp around on top of. Purdy and Nop going underwater and sneaking away. They left the boat. They're going to try to move away from it. It's a smart play because he knows Smurf will probably take a look at the boat location.
Oh, no.
Meanwhile, the crossfire continues. This firefight has been ongoing. Sharp shot down. Pistola is low. Ben Long has been shooting a long time and is continuing to just cause a nightmarish experience for these poor guys who can't seem to get out of the wizard tower.
I mean, at the very least, there isn't a squad to their north that has their number, but they can't move, and which is good right now. They have the zone; they don't have to move, but no one wants to stay here.
Yeah.
We're looking over here. Look where everyone's
naval
right
combat. Now I will say
God.
this: I don't like shooting off the boat when it's parked because that thing never stops rocking. The jet ski, on the other hand, is a little more stable. So if you're talking naval battles, sometimes it's better to have the jet ski.
Big transition coming here. 3 squads all crossing paths, but
Oh,
no one can take the first one. Cayman is in a lot of trouble.
Cayman is super low, but his friend Znark jumps off, wants to help out. It's Nova versus them. Znark with a good grenade is going to toss it up and over. It's got good sky bounce off of the bike. It might have worked out. It jumped too far, but he gets shot dodging another grenade, and that will put Nerf Me Please down for the count, as the rest of Nova has to fall back. Caden coming behind them, so they have to be very careful here, as Nova's about to get caught between a hammer and an anvil. Caden driving by, Lockguard tapes some shots, that'll reveal his position to the rest of 6 who's coming down the pipeline. Playing gatekeeper.
Those are super greedy shots, but Envy just cruising right on in Novo. Not stopping for anything. Actually able to survive at very low HP. It's not over yet, though. But United, they don't have angles. The guys decided Nova don't have angles. He's actually okay here.
The Jeep rolled back to give him protection, which I thought was hilarious. But EU on both sides, yep. There's the nade. It goes off. Jesse dies to the US, or the UAZ blowing up after the fact. So both gonna drop. Meanwhile, 7 pushing in, trying to take out Dash. Nova on the fast bike drive. A lot of bikes being utilized here to try to find themselves in position. That max speed helpful to keep people from killing you as you drive, but also very tough to seek cover when you come to a stop. So they'll park it here. Landon gonna jump into the shack with his partner, and they're just going to sort of hold and pray, it looks like.
Love Shack, la la.
Right?
All right, meanwhile, singing aside, we have D-Master coming up on Render here. And look at this terrain, a lot of low ground that can be played. And Render, they're not even looking this way. They're going back down off this cliff. This is the exact wrong time for them to move here. Yeah,
you got to wonder. They started to feel like they had been too long there. That said, it was not the right time to leave, as they've got people flanking over them at the moment. They decided to go down into the boats. I'm not really sure why they made the drop. They're going to try to play low ground circle, I guess. New interesting choice for me here. Meanwhile, it looks like Vexel is taking some fire from down below. Look for the flank play, though. They're not looking to their left because they see 3. That opens up Dash 32 to come in from behind and go ham, but he gets shot on the others. So he's left at almost no health. Does make it to cover, but that will draw off some of Team 7, who are now throwing grenades out to try and finish the job.
This is really weird from Render. The play to go down south is actually blowing up behind them, though, as Envy Caden, who has now found himself in the Wizard Tower, is taking shots toward them. Not good at all for Render.
Caden finishes off blown apart, still hunkered down, leaving that tower. I understand, or the high ground, why they did it. They're taking a lot of fire from 3 directions, just not the right time. Venerated now making a push to try to join Caden. Opens fire. Remember, there was a team stuck here for a long time. They couldn't do anything. They finally got themselves resituated. Now NBS is going to rack up kills from this location.
Oh, yeah, Caden with the big gun here. And Render is all but eliminated, but there's 2 more squads. Totality as well as... I believe that was Pecadores, who actually came in from the south there very aggressively. So just trading one squad with another. The story doesn't change for EU United or Envious. They're just going to have to keep holding their south side.
Still 15 teams, 45 people alive, less deaths than we'd expect. The Novo circle is real, 40% water, and a lot of players are going to have to push through Novo. So because of where the water is, it's a little bit harder for teams who are low or suffering to make that drive transition into the water after this circle. That does mean that this could be a little more urban warfare, a little bit harder for teams who are trying to make it to that spot. Tamai takes a lot of damage, but manages to get himself under cover just in time. In the meantime, Ignite, opposite the road, going to keep on shooting.
Really good driving for him to actually get there safely. Wildcard looks like they're keen to take this side of the road. Kickstart in the open, but Steeler Green doesn't take any shots. Does not want to let anyone know that he's here quite yet. Pretty smart play, because he can later on move north and just transition away from this stealthily.
Nova goes for the crates, an interesting choice, sort of a backup plan. Loknarb decides to go all the way in, just pushing as hard as he can. He drives the bike up into a super sweet kickstand and is going to leave it there as he now goes around to the back. Chappie coming out, Solid and Moody. They got the whole squad here, boys, and they're locked down in this area. Loknarb going to take a ton of damage and ultimately go down as Yimmer takes a great kill from a distance.
Definitely a yellow play for Loknarb right there, but Landoon being a bit more safe, you could say, sitting here in this building, and he's very central.
No, sitting on
right
sitting on a stovetop is always the safest place to sit in a house. If you guys didn't know that, if you're ever in danger, just sit on the stovetop and say Landoon told you to do it. All right, Purdy going to go ahead and sneak in behind the boat, thinking about just rolling out. He will. He says, this is not the place for me. And just beaches it. And Purdy with the next level escapes.
I was gonna say usually you would back up the boat, and I was gonna say watch how he backs up the boat to make sure the boat doesn't get beached. But now he used the frag. Boat's in the water. No, you don't want to drive this on fire, Purdy. Oh my god.
It may not have been the purtiest play, but it is a play by Purdy. He's going to use that to get out to the water, smoking, leaving trails of black, going to get to the white, and then just jump out of the boat, I suppose, as he's going to take some shots. If even one of them closes, there he goes, makes the jump and heads to beach side. He thinks he can swim from here. Circle going to be a little bit close on his behind. Meanwhile, Envious taking some shots there. Nice kill by Venerated with that 4X, using the M4 very, very cleanly to get these knocks. Meanwhile, the AWM also raining hell down upon them from Caden inside of the Wizard Tower.
Just when prone behind the trees, get VSS and an M4. Get some good gear overall. Ooh. Not gonna be able to get that revive. It was actually United with the kill steal there, nabbing that one away from Envious. No, and the city is looking colorful right now, Toffees. I don't see many buildings that don't have a squad in or around them.
It's time for urban warfare. United has been stealing a lot of kills from people. Grows are going to come down here on the outside in a death trap. I don't see anybody really going for this just yet. One of those things where is it really worth the big swap out and the danger associated with it? There is another package all the way out in the water, so maybe a boat team may consider going after that to get themselves an AUM for breaching. Who knows? At this stage of the game, it's more about position than it is about
AUM for breaching.
That's true. Well, you get the rocks there on the north side of the circle. It'd be a nice location. Nobody going for that just yet. I will say it looks like there are going to be some people going for it. LGB says, it's mine, man. And Slightnair is going to go ahead and try to just swim out there the old-fashioned way.
Oh, they're going to be in the Groza. And the Groza in this scenario,
I hope he steals it.
If they can get the Groza into the city, there is not a gun that'll be better than close quarters combat.
Go Slightnair, steal it. Slightnair is trying to sneak up and steal his boat.
So far away, right?
He is. But if he had, I don't know, maybe Steel will take some time to loot, swim into town.
He's taking some time. Yeah.
Oh, he's swimming into town. Never mind. I thought it'd be more fun. I'd steal it and just bounce on him. Oh well, what can you do, Slightmares? Take the steal. All right, Woolie's Narc making their way in. They're gonna go ahead and set themselves up with a nice base of operations here up on the mountain, but they're already taking a ton of fire. Have to be careful. Meanwhile, down inside the city, Nova, E-United, and Liquid all holding pretty decent spots. Now, Landoon's still on top of that stove, just trying to play the camp game, so we'll check in with him as time goes on. Wildcard brings Kickstart in. He's butting right up against Dakoko and Zentrix. Luminosity locked up inside of the house that I hate. You know, it's got a lot of good angles, but the loot always seems sad.
I definitely agree with you there. But look like he just want to find a new house to camp in. He realized that building is occupied. Only being a two-man squad, Wildcard cannot afford to be breaching any buildings with full squads in them. That's not a winning formula right there. That means the Tumai still holding back, still trying to put some shots towards Steeler Green and Light Show. Just saying, hey, I know you're there. We don't have to move, but hi. Sending some greeting bullets.
Yeah. Somebody's watching. It's always good to remind them that you know that they're there. And that's what they're going to do here. Meanwhile, watching towards the outside, it looks like he's pretty low on health and not healing. So I'm curious about why that's happening over there. Oh, there he is. Okay, so Lightso did just heal off. He was just making sure nobody pushed in on him while he got tapped back.
That is his last med, though. He has that painkiller that he used was the last item he had.
That's what I thought. Okay, so 14 teams left, 38 alive. That's about to drop very, very quickly. We did just lose Venerated to Smithy. So Caden with the AUM is by himself in terms of envious players. He is inside of a shack, sort of holding his ground. And hoping to go a little bit deeper inside of the circle. Now, Totality trying to move in. Look at those smokes. Lots of options for moving through the crates. Have to be very cautious as you clear it and very thorough.
God Squad was actually able to retreat from their position into the industrial crates, all with all 4 members alive right now. That's really impressive. They're able to disengage from that spot. And now, with the industrial crates mostly empty, they could be in a really good spot going later into this game.
Little redneck fishing from Alo, looking for Slightmare. Is going to drop a bit short. Explosion goes off. Slightmare's hears the tremors and goes back to swimming around. Going to stay in the bay while he's watched from MLGB. Totality, Taro trying to make his way in. Totality got a lot of transition time, and they will own crates. But crates, one of those spots where it's questionable. Is this your best bet?
Taro's got that vector, though, so a lot of players bring in SMGs and shotguns in this late game area, and this is exactly when you're going to want them. Just look at the close quarters fights at the beginning. Still 36 alive here. Pretty much every single West being able to make it into the city. This is going to be a lot of close quarters carnage going on soon.
Yeah, I believe Microstar, the last 2 left on his team. Remember, Slightmare's swimming over by MLGB, so this is Microstar's chance to be a superstar. The circle is going to favor High Novo. Oh my gosh, Pentawall and the crew up on the top in their car fort are happy as clams as they now hold the high ground and the only cover in the general region. All these players are going to have to go head-to-head as they start to make their transition. C9, the question is, do they get an early push out or do they stay and wait and run the line to let people get past them?
Oh man, just rounds picking up to my barely making it in. That was a movie moment right there. Dakoko saw it. He's going to be trying to confirm that down with a frag, but I don't think he's going to be able to make that. It's a bit of an awkward angle.
Yeah.
Still though, the big tell here is that all these guys in crates gotta go. They gotta go west and they gotta fight their way in. Totality, one of the worst offenders in this case. God Squad's in front of them. Do they know that there's a squad in this warehouse? It looks like they do.
They're creeping at it. God Squad's looking in the opposite direction, though, so that's great news for Totality as they have to try to find a way to get in here and breach through. Pat Caps holding Shot HD. It seems like they hear them moving around now. They're trying to find them themselves. Here comes Taro. Pop, pop. Easy knockdown there for Sharko W, and Taro learns, okay, there's definitely some guys in there.
Bit of a sacrifice, though, because Totality's just moving beyond. They do not want to take this fight, especially with 2 players left. There's only a few squads left on the south side, so this is a pretty good play from them tactically.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea. Running the leapfrog system to get them through. Meanwhile, Adam Dids and MLGB, these are 2 teams hiding out in crates in a bit of a throwdown. Neither of them in the circle, though. They have to finish this darn fight. Adam Dids going in and out of the crate, one-on-one. Oh, nice play there. Gets the knock, but gets caught from the other side. Rosa will get him, so Steel will save as the rest of MLG goes for the reses. Ox going to keep hiding inside here, waiting for his chance to try and make a follow-up play. Presumably, he'll run behind MLGB as they extract themselves from the circle.
Here's the Shrink. It's going to be forcing its way in. A couple players already on the edges of the white. Nova Landoon still alive right now. God Squad as well able to disengage themselves from Totality, still losing 1 player on their way in. This is really rough. MLGB and God Squad still not quite in the white zone.
And up on top of the mountain, 6 happy as a clown. Microstar goes down. He is eliminated with the knock, so that means his partner is still somewhere out there in the swim phase. Alo left by himself for MLGB, trying to push in to Pat Caps and Pistola, the whole crew. Nice smoke, gonna throw it out so he has a chance to make a nice cross. The internet throw actually looks really cool. I don't see that very as often as I'd like. So cool throw. I think he actually tossed it under his left arm for even more style points. But speaking of style points, Pistola time ends him the second he steps out.
Good throw in there, buddy. Good job.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Slow circle. They can stay ahead of it, but they're going to have to fight because all of C9 is inside just on the way. So depending on where the circle goes, 11's going to have a very hard time moving against them. That's the nice little lay down and heal play. The edge, oh man. So how the tides have changed. Stilo, Zentrix, and his crew are all now in the circle. Znark gonna have to push away. They do have their cars still intact. They haven't blown them up or lost the tires.
They're getting in.
They may go full ham into the zone.
Oh man, it's been a while since I've seen a good old-fashioned just car crash, but looking like right now, they just want to get to the white and just find a good spot to defend. This little ridge is exactly what they're looking for, using the cars to cover the direction toward Novo and then using the ridge to just peek up north and then east. Looking over here, though, a couple of squads still need to make the way in. God Squad, just one of the many here. Landoon camping. No one's getting up that staircase, Landoon. This is not the building to be in. No buildings in Novo proper are left. the road is the most easy thing in Novo. All these guys have to cross.
Yeah, this is the time to boost and the time to scoot, and that's what they're going to have to start doing. Sharpshot trying to clean up EU a little bit as they make that cross inside of the smokes. New smokes, very strong. The players seem to really have mastered how to utilize these smokes for transitions, with the exception of that shot from Pistola earlier. That said, though, this has been a really phenomenal work inside of Urban Combat, but now we have to move back out into the woods. So
oh, man. Sharpshot not even looking as a full squad is crossing, and they might be coming up right up on wildcard Tumai.
Oh, Tumai hears him. He's got the AK out. He's saying, come in, I dare you. No helmet, waiting for his chance. AK, Frolicker, and Moody so exposed. He comes out, Chappie's right there. Gets the first, goes open, spray, and pray. And he does. He got Chappie down. Oh, I think he got them all. Did he get them all? No, he's got most of them. Yeah, he did. No, right there. No, Moody and Frolicker still crawling around. They're in a smoked out paradise as they try to figure each other out. Sharp shot on the downhill. He got Moody down. Now he wants to go for Frolicker, but oh, Tumai ends up dropping. Gets taken out, and Frolicker, the last man standing from that Cloud 9 push that ended up dying in a cloud of death.
Oh man, I wish you could see my face. That was absolute. That was really funny right there that we just saw. But a couple of squads have been able to disengage and get safely away. United, one of the big ones on the south side, but Luminosity definitely holding the game-winning spot. That being said, it's on the northwest side. It might not be in the next zone. Duel as well in this low ground ridge, a very good spot. They can also move around here a lot as well. So they get pinched from one side, for example, by United. They could just roll back around to the west if they had to.
Yep. So United's got 4 inside the crates, feeling good about it. Gets a tuck in, Duel in a good spot, and now Luminosity has to make a big transition. So I will say this, the circle has been tough, but this time around, it seems like it's been fair. It's moved so many times that almost no one has been allowed to get to the final circle without some sort of difficult transition to make. And this is Luminosity's time to prove that they have the ability to move against teams who are entrenched.
I'm counting 1, 2, 3 solos that are all around Luminosity. They're all just waiting for these players to leave this building. And once they get past these solos, which by the way, there's 3 in their team and 3 solos around. So this is worth 3-3 right there. There's 2 full squads that are currently in a better spot to get into the white. That being said, New White doesn't have much cover. It's going to be an awkward fight when it happens. But Luminosity, I don't even know if they'll be able to participate in that.
Yeah, and don't forget Kickstart, sitting low, wildcard in the same building as Luminosity, just waiting and biding his time for someone else to do the dirty work. Dirty work, speaking of, we're starting to see the smokes come out now. CeeLo Green pushing out of the house, gonna have to make his transition. Dad Coco
looks away!
The corner.
They don't see each other!
Oh, now they see him. He gets the spray on Coco. The next one comes out. He wasn't ready for it. He saw him go down at the last second, so now Vape's got to go for the heal. Coco is just trying to spot the man. Kickstart now sneaking as well, but Frolicker hiding on the other side of the wall. This is some very covert operation type stuff as Frolicker hears Kickstart moving but can't afford to move himself. Kick knows Frolic's there, but there's also a man above him.
And behind him, there's so many
waiting. Moody gonna go. There's the spray fight. Oh my goodness, it breaks out. The blue is everywhere. Kickstart goes down. CeeLo is exposed. Moody gets killed as well outside in the circle. Now he tries to make the transition. CeeLo is low. He goes down. CeeLo dies in the play zone as well. EU trying to get inside. 2 teams left off of a crazy push.
Oh no.
He can't do it. The revive's not long enough. You gotta go. Okay, he got it. He gets it off. Somehow moves during the revive and makes it work. So kudos to him.
I don't think that he did. Look at that. It's just a visual bug. They had to restart that.
So he did restart it. Meanwhile, Duel thinking about making a push. He does manage to pick him up, so it's a 2v2 if my math is correct. Vegas playing the spotter, though, as he's on this side of the tree, letting his team know where Tony V and Yeez are. As they come up over the hill, they rush up there. They go for the second res. Okay, so Vegas is going to come back up, making it a 3v... No, it's 4v2. Look at that. I didn't even see Yimmer get to the side. Yimmer's got a great flank play here, and really Duel is just locked into a pit, and once that smoke dissipates, I don't know what Duel can do.
Oh, man, Jimmer looking really antsy. He wants to take those shots, but they can't quite find. Look at that, 13 kills for these guys so far. A single frag could end their life, but as soon as that smoke ends, Jimmer peeking it. There he spots it. Sees the little head.
Oh, he's waiting for the head. He's like, poke it up. Come on, Mr. Groundhog. Let me see what you got. And there's
Vegas the kill.
With the AWM stolen from earlier, and there's the push. And EU gets the finish with all 4 alive after a really sick res and hold.
And just look at that kill count. You can tell that they just shot and murdered their way through this city. I think that was 15 by the end of that game in a setting where just look at the other players' kill count. Second place, 1 kill. Third place, 3. Fourth place, 3 as well. EU United definitely earning this victory.
I would say it's safe to say that that was a game with circles where no one was able to sort of coast their way into the last circle or the last round of fighting. So excellent game to end our evening on. It's been a lot of fun spending these 4 matches with you. This is Auzom Season 2 North American APL split. It's been a ton of fun. We are in week 4 and we got a lot more coming down the pipelines. My name's Toffee's bringing you the action. I'm joined by Lil Fuzzy Seal and of course Skyline on the camera. If you guys enjoyed the cast, follow all of us over at AuzomGG. You can find us each individually on Twitter. We'd love to hear some feedback on if you had a good time or suggestions for the future. Any last words before we sign out, Seal?
Despite getting 3 military zones, I had a lot of fun today. I think that they're all really interesting and different in their own ways. And we didn't see that big cacophony of color in the water either. A lot of players looking like they want to get away from that. And I think it's good.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's all about karma, and Toffees makes water fun. I'm just going to stand by that. I think we had a good time tonight. That said, guys, have a wonderful evening. Go play some PUBG because you know you want to. Take what you learned tonight and push it into a chicken dinner for yourself. From all of us here at Auzom, have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next week.